Hello, I'm Sarah and I'm going to show you how to make a low budget chicken tikka tray bake, which has got some nice fresh veg in it, some nice spices and yoghurt, and something that you can make with other vegetables. You don't have to use just the ones in this recipe, but I'll stick to the recipe for the moment. Right, I've cleaned my board down and I've skinned all the vegetables and pretty much prepared them all. So just a bit of red pepper, that just needs a bit of the core. Just be careful when you do the pepper, don't rub your eyes without washing your hands before preparing pepper, because pepper seeds can be very annoying. And I have to be very careful as well because I have a small dog who eats anything that falls on the floor. So just chop your pepper up. Doesn't have to be really tiny. I quite like big chunks of pepper because it does shrink down sometimes. But you can make the dish however you want to make it. Because I find the best way of cooking sometimes is to have a go at a recipe and then you can refine it. You can change it with whatever you've got in the fridge, whatever you've got lying about in your vegetable tray. Oh. I've never been very good at chopping onions, so rough and ready. Just to show you, I've got quite a large roasting tray so that it's all got room to move about in, and when the chicken goes on top of it, you're not all cramped into one tiny. Right, now this recipe calls for cauliflower. Well, half cauliflower. I'm actually doing a whole cauliflower because I couldn't get a large one and halve it. I could only find a small one, so it's a small cauliflower, but again, it's got nice chunks. I did think to myself when I was getting the shopping list for this recipe that broccoli would probably be quite nice. So just break your cauliflower down as best you can, because cauliflower's not always very good at breaking down. Because I make quite a lot of cauliflower cheese for myself, and it has very unforgiving stalks. Right, finally, now potatoes. I couldn't get very small potatoes, so it says cut them in half. Some of these I'm cutting into thirds because that just makes it a little bit more even. Let's move that to that side, that's it, so you can see. And I'm just spreading it all out. So now you can see you've got a nice tray of beautiful vegetables. And on these vegetables I'm going to sprinkle, excuse me, some salt. Not too much, but it's, you know, personal preference. And pepper. of turmeric, or turmeric, however you pronounce it. This is a bit lumpy, so I'm just going to, that's it. It doesn't matter how much you shake spice things, sometimes they still come out in lumps. And then I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of cumin, well, ground cumin, which is lumping up very nicely. I love the smell of cumin. It's got, to me, a very Indian smell. Right, so that's all the vegetables ready for the chicken to go in a few minutes after it's finished marinating. Okay, so you've got your nice tray of cut up veg, you've got your marinated chicken, you've preheated your oven to 200 degrees. I would suggest doing this when you've finished marinating the chicken. Then, just pour the chicken over onto the tray of veg. Squidge it around. It's a technical term, squidge it. On top of the veg, and just make sure that everything's nicely covered. Oh, this is a very big roasting tray and it is absolutely round full. I'm just going to get some of the juice out. Not that there's an awful lot. Oh, there's a bit of cauliflower there that's not covered, so we'll make sure that that is very well covered, because you want it all to just cook nicely. Right, now I'm going to try and turn the camera around, because I'm going to put this in to the oven. I have a very small kitchen, so it's very difficult to actually get about, and I'm going to put this on initially for 20 minutes so that I can come back and check. Well, I'm going to look at it. It's looking quite nice. I'm just going to move it around a little bit. Just to see it's doing pretty well. Not quite done yet though, I can tell just by tapping on the potatoes and the cauliflower that they're not really done yet. So I'm going to put it back in, close the door, and time it for another 20 minutes. Okay, here's the finished product. Put a little bit of lemon juice over it. Ooh, yeah, just like that. And some fresh coriander too, if you can find it. Doesn't matter if you can't, but you know, it does add a nice little bit of flavour if you buy a pack from a supermarket.